Welcome to Sideline Theory, here with Brandon Cheatham and Michael Lane.
Yes, sir.
We're in the basement. We are going to hit you guys with some exclusive episodes starting this week, where we are going to move through some position rankings, whether it's specific positions or position groups for some of these guys in the NFL. With the offseason, we do know that we're doing this pre-draft. We don't think that's going to have a super huge impact either way.
I think Jeremiah Love is going to be
fair.
just the number one football player. And Sonny Styles, I heard, is playing quarterback, receiver.
Yep.
He's going to be the safety. He's going to kick, too. So
Go Buckeyes.
Oh,
that felt
can't
nasty.
say that. Can't say that.
Oh, my
here, bro.
goodness. That's almost worth a retake. We're going to start today, though. We're going to try to keep these really quick and concise. We're going to start off with the most important position in the NFL, being the quarterbacks. We're going to hit you with our list from 15 to 1. This is a consolidated list that Mike and I have agreed on. There was some back and forth in the middle of this ranking. I'm sure we'll get into some of that. And then at the end of this list, we're going to give you a couple of questions that we pose to each other, and we'll get into that once we rank that list all the way through.
Yeah, bro. Just doing this because we want, on paper, the official Sideline Theory ranking of quarterbacks in the league. Top 15. So I'm ready, bro. You ready?
I'm with it. So let's go ahead and kick us off, starting with
number 15, my guy, baby.
Kyler Murray.
Oh!
2025 stats.
Go ahead,
He
commenters.
dealt with some injuries. 962 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks, quarterback rating of 88.6. Mike and I both think there's an opportunity for some resurgence at the new team he's going to be on with Kevin O'Connell. But we've got him 15. Anything you want to add for Kyler Murray?
The first off, he was on my list. He was not on your list. Why was Kyler not on your top 15?
Just recency bias, prisoner of the moment.
Okay. I mean,
doesn't like football. I mean, doesn't watch film.
I mean, not as much as COD.
Correct.
Call of Duty's pretty great. The graphics are pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched him stream a few times on Twitch, so I can't hate too much. But yeah.
He is so spectacular when he's right that to me it's inarguable that he's a top 15 quarterback in the league. And he kind of similar to how we view Baker Mayfield. He took that Browns organization to the playoffs. On this pod, I've talked pretty crazy about the Browns.
Yeah.
He took them to playoffs, won a playoff game. And with Kyler, he had Arizona a perennial playoff team. Yeah. And had them at number 1 seed. And for some reason, Cliff Kingsbury's teams couldn't finish during the year. He's been hurt. I will say I'm a little worried about the foot. But going to the system, the man's about to throw to Justin Jefferson. Kyler Murray's a top 15, and he's going to prove it this year.
I agree. Yeah, I think projection-wise, certainly a top 15. I think this is a guy, if we didn't include halfway through the season, people were like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
So
I'm with it, bro.
We'll move on to the next, number 14.
Ooh.
Some may think this is too low, but we've got Jalen Hurts. So 2025 season, 3,224 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, quarterback rating of 98.5. The offensive woes for me puts him further down the list. It's hard. I mean, I knew this guy's been a Super Bowl MVP, has done at the highest level, but that offense just looks abysmal the last year and plus a few games. Yeah.
Well, 2 years ago, obviously, they won the Super Bowl. Last year, it was just super clunky, losing Kellen Moore. He has had a different offensive coordinator, I believe, every year of his career. And so him and his head coach, when you do tier listings or pyramids, are very hard to place. Because Jalen's up and down, because he's not prototypical at all, and then his head coach is the same way, and so I think 14 is a good spot coming out of the year that he just had. He has a lot of room to grow, in my opinion. But if I'm starting a team from scratch, there are obviously many other quarterbacks I would take.
Just talented passers. I mean, for me, that knocks him down the list. I will say, when things are clicking as an offense, you put that athlete in that spot, it's tougher to, justify a 14, but it hasn't been clicking for a long time. And we'll see if they hold on to their number 1 receiver through the rest of this offseason. Moving to the next one on the list, we've got 13, Drake May, right? Coming off of a huge year, 4,394 passing yards, 31 touchdowns to 8 picks, 113.5 rating, was at least a front runner for a few weeks to win the MVP last year. That doesn't buy him a ton of space on the list, but that certainly puts him on it.
I think he has a great deep ball. Drake to Butte is a real viable threat. Obviously, in the Super Bowl, the moment was very big for him. I think that he was in his head. He missed a couple easy dunks. He also made some throws that were pretty incredible toward the end of the game, but still had some crazy mistakes. I think if you would have told him when he got drafted, hey, 2 years after you're drafted, you on just any listings, you're going to be in the top half of quarterbacks, I think New England would take that. I think he would take that. And so I think he's in a good spot, a lot of room to grow, and he's still young, and he got a number one receiver, Romeo Doubs. So,
yeah, I like that. Next guy on the list, not as young,
ooh,
Georgia boy from the state of Georgia is what I mean there. We've got number 12, Trevor Lawrence.
Would he be higher if he decided to finally cut the hair?
Who knows? Could be his power. I don't know. He could turn into Zach Wilson without the hair. Up in the air. But, yeah, coming off a year, he had 4,007 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Definitely has the potential. Definitely has some interesting weapons, right? Travis Hunter will be coming back to play wide receiver sparingly in this season. But, yeah, it just kind of feels like I don't want to say underachieving, but like on par. Like they're just average.
What's crazy
achievers.
is Trevor has plays that are the Chiefs Monday night game where he falls down and runs in the touchdown to win the game. The Jacksonville and the playoff game against the Bills, he drives them down to go get the go-ahead touchdown before Josh takes the Bills down. And then the very first play of the drive, Trevor's all over himself and throws the pick. But he did have the crazy comeback against Justin Herbert in the playoffs. And so he's a very difficult player to rank. He is the prototypical what you'd want. Tall, athletic, big arm, but just doesn't seem to be putting it all together. Could it be Jacksonville? Like, say tomorrow he went to the Rams and took over for Stafford in 2 years. Would he be excellent? I'm sure he would. Yep. And so maybe it's the organization and they just need to go ahead and move to London.
Also seems really just nonchalant to me. He's just lacking a little bit of fire. And you don't have to be like a huge, big emotional guy, but like I just never see that from him. Coming out of Clemson, it was like, oh, he's very calm, cool, collected. But it just feels like, I mean, like urgency, emotion. I think you need some of that sometimes from these guys that play in these spots. Like Stafford's a great example of that. So it just feels like something's lacking. But, yeah, I think from a talent perspective, certainly has it all. Just hasn't put it all together to his potential either.
For sure.
So got him at 12 here. Moving into the next person on the list, we have number 11, Jordan Love. He's coming off a year. He had 3,381 passing yards, 23 touchdowns to 6 picks, quarterback rating of 101.2, and even got Malik Willis a contract this offseason for those games he missed. But, yeah, I think, with him – the playoff run the previous season, put some equity in my mind for him without a true star at receiver. I know like those guys all had moments in the playoffs and even outside of that in the regular season, but I think some of the untapped. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see his true ceiling without like a bona fide star at receiver.
Yeah.
And I think LaFleur adds a lot to the mix here. So I think without LaFleur, he could even be further down the list, but we've got him sitting at 11.
I think he's had playoff moments. He is a very inconsistent in the regular season, and he gets hurt. Like he's a very often hurt person. But when I watched the playoff game this year against the Bears, he did not lose that game. Like he had when I watched it, I can think of a drop that happened on the left sideline deep down the field. So like he is a very rise to the moment type of player. I think that the system under Matt LaFleur is really helping him flourish. But I think 11 is a good spot for him. I don't think he's top 10, but
yeah, I'm with you there. Next guy on the list, we've got number 10, top 10 here, Baker Mayfield.
Ooh,
Baker Mayfield's coming off a year, 3,693 yards passing, 26 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, QBR of 90.6. He's losing Mike Evans. We'll see how much that really affects him. I'm a Baker fan. I have been since he was in college. He's a very fiery guy. I like that at a quarterback spot. I think top 10 is sufficient based on the record and what he's done, even historically at other places. I wouldn't put him too far above that because I just don't know how this is going to look with Ibuka being the only guy, and we'll see.
What's crazy is the end of the year, you could argue he was not top 20 in moments. But in the first 6-7 games of the year, you could argue he was the best quarterback in the league, especially the most clutch quarterback in the league. So he has a lot of – I'm excited to see where he's at next year. He's a difficult one to place. I think in our original rankings, I had him outside the top 10. I think I might have switched Jordan Love and Baker, and then I think these next three were a big topic of conversation for Brandon and I. But Baker, he's in a good spot. 4 years ago, if you would have told Baker, hey, man, you're in arguments for top 10 quarterback, he would be very happy. So
sign him up. I do think he needs to do more commercials. Those are gold. All right, next guy on the list. Hotly debated in consolidation of this list, we've got number 9, Sam Darnold.
I think people are gonna say he deserves to be higher. My rebuttal to you would be Jalen Hurts. Everyone had Jalen top 5 2 years ago when he won the Super Bowl, and it's and I don't think people are putting Jalen top 5. Maybe somebody will have Jalen top 10.
Yeah,
but
you born and raised in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and it's so. With Sam, I haven't seen enough consistently to put him higher on the list.
He's a byproduct of a great system, a great franchise, great decisions from the GM down, excellent defense. I think we'll see more about really what Sam Darnold's working with coming into a year where they lose a few of those guys off the defense. And then, based just kind of on the guys around him too, right? Like he has won it. They didn't light it up in the Super Bowl from an offensive standpoint. Yeah. They didn't have to, so good for him. Congrats on the Super Bowl win. But, I've got to see it over longer periods. I know when we were debating this back and forth, there are moments you can point to the games against the Rams where it's okay, there were some big-time moments in that. But I think we just got to see that over a more extended period to put him higher in the list where it doesn't seem so dependent on an elite defense.
Yeah.
Next guy on the list, number 8, Dak Prescott.
The most contested name on the list. I will say I had him 13 on my original list. Brandon had him at 6.
Yeah, and I'll hit you. I do want to cover it real quick, though. Sam Darnold, 4,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 14 picks. That's another thing that played a part in his ranking. Led the league in turnovers during the regular season last year. And Dak Prescott, 4,500 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. Yeah, this was one that we went back and forth on. I think, statistically, Dak is there. I think a lot of the interceptions that are thrown there are really, tip balls, drops from everything that I've ever seen with him playing. And, I just I pegged you with he beat Brady in the playoffs, and that's your guy. So, I think he's 8. I don't think it's too much of an argument with the two guys following him, just based on what we've outlined with Baker, not really knowing what's end of the year, who's going to have, what that's going to look like, and then Sam Darnold just having to see it over a longer sample size.
I just think it's outrageous to have him over Darnold, even from what I said. I think it's outrageous to have him over Jordan Love. I think if you put Jordan Love on the Cowboys, I think you would get the same production and more. I think Dak, I've seen him fold so many times when it matters. I'm almost not even going stats. He is the king of empty calorie stats, where it's dude, they're losing by 20. He scores 2 touchdowns with 2 minutes left when everyone's thinking about what they're doing for the weekend or what they're doing for the night. And it's and look, I'm wearing it's hysterical as I'm wearing the Cowboys hat.
I mean, by no means am I a Cowboys fan. I'll be good if they don't win a game this year. Shout out to all my friends that are Cowboys fanatics. But I don't know. Part of my bias is I've liked Dak all the way since, he was in college and a late round pick. I like the story too, but he's definitely got the numbers to be considered there. And
do you really think that the Cowboys are a better team with Dak on it than Baker? If they swapped and Baker went to the Cowboys tomorrow?
It's tough, dude, but they're not. So that's part of it, right? Is Dak is going to come into the year with 2 bona fide number 1s playing 1 and 2. and Baker's going to have a guy that's had a decent rookie year.
And what I'm saying is Baker would do more with that than what Dak is doing to win game. Like, sure, he might not have 4,500 yards passing, but he potentially could win more games. It all depends on what you want with your quarterback. Do you want stats and then you said Sam had the most interceptions or led the league in turnovers. He had a majority of those turnovers came in 2 games.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was especially, and then in the playoffs, he didn't turn the ball over in the playoffs. And so I think it's having Dak above him just because of stats. I think that we have such a sample size with Dak that it's hard to just take him at stats. There's a lot
that's fair too, Dak but I'm Prescott. Also an NFC South guy, right? And like Baker, if you're not dominant and making playoff runs coming out of that division, like the Cowboys, the Eagles are blocking really the best path in that division. So maybe it's different if Baker's in that division and he's not winning it, right? Where he's like not limping into the playoffs as a 9-8 team with the Bucs. But yeah, I think there's room to argue there. So we'll move to the next one. We've got number 7, Justin Herbert.
Herbie.
Last year, 3,700 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, 13 picks, QBR of 94.1. Take it away.
His prototypical talent should be higher. I remember on draft night when the Chargers took him, I think a lot of people wanted them to take Tua. I think that obviously they were proven right. I think that they wanted Tua versus Herbert coming out of college, but for a lot of people and myself, it is hard to get the playoffs out of your head. I saw him in person when I went to Tennessee versus Los Angeles this year. He's the reason they won that game. They lost Joe Alt. They didn't have Slater. He doesn't have elite weapons on the outside. His best receiver's Ladd. And it's like he single-handedly won that game for the Chargers and threw dimes and then was able to take off and run. So he has a lot of what you want, but mentally kind of has what you were saying, a little bit of Trevor Lawrence-y vibes to him.
And he played at Oregon. That's the DNA of Oregon the last decade, in my opinion. That's just kind of how it doesn't even matter who the coach is.
That's why Mario Cristobal left.
Yeah, and that's kind of the culture, right? Like, yeah, before Mario got sucked into it, he came home. And that was great for us and for him. But yeah, Justin 7, like you said, prototypical talent. All the tools.
He holds like so many records for like quickest to this, quickest to that.
But I do think they got to get him some more help on the edge. And I'm a huge fan of Ladonis. That was his nickname at Georgia. But yeah, I would love to see, not Justin Herbert throwing to Ladd and Keenan Allen in the back half of his career. It'd be cool to see. And they tried to do that. They just, with Quentin Johnston, like he hasn't really panned out. He had a few good weeks at the beginning of the season last year, but hasn't really been, I don't think, what they've expected him to be as a first-round pick. Next guy on the list, moving to number 6, we've got Lamar Jackson.
Number 6, come at us, commenters. And I will say that I had him even farther down. He's up higher because of Brandon.
2,500 yards passing, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks, QBR of 103.8. We've discussed Lamar a lot in the last few weeks. I think we're all on the same page of it feels like he's just lost a few steps. Maybe that is due to injury. Maybe it's not. But the thing is, when he comes back and he's playing, we have to assume he's healthy. Maybe he's not all the way healthy, but you're doing yourself a disservice on your perception to the league and the fans. I hope he comes back and proves that all wrong, because I 100% agree that when he's at the top of his game, he is the most fun person to watch in the NFL. Yes. It's been that way since he was at Louisville. It's just cool to watch a guy that's so much – it's like Vic was. He's so much more athletic and explosive. But if he doesn't have that, I think pocket passer, there's a real argument if he's included in the top 10 there, if it's on that alone.
I think his spectacular is top 3, but his normal every day is bottom 15 in the league. I don't know what else, especially as he's getting older. And that's the difference between, I think, the top echelon, which is where he was and was living at for so long, when he was more healthy and more athletic and not losing athleticism as he gets older. He was living up there, but now it's the last throw he had against Pittsburgh where he got them into field goal range, the Isaiah Likely catch where he fit it in between double coverage on 4th down. That's the top quarterback in the league, Lamar. That's 2-time MVP Lamar. But his normal, everyday, mundane is not top 10
But he has started
level.
boxing. So maybe that'll bring him back.
Apparently he's boxing. So we have him at 6.
Yep.
To say you're the 6th best quarterback alive, I guess that's an insult. But that's where we got
we'll move on. Next, we've got number 5, Joe Burrow.
Ooh.
Joe Money.
Joe Cool.
Coming off a year, obviously, with injuries, 1,800 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, QBR of 100.7.
There's not much that we
season.
have to say.
Yeah.
I think people will argue that Lamar and Joe should flip. I think Joe's top passing is just more elite than Lamar. And I think he deserves to be top 5. I with the money on the table, I have no issue giving Joe the ball and telling him to go score. So Joe being top 5, even with his missing the playoffs year after year being in Cincinnati, he's still
and he's played in the big game once, right?
Yep.
So I think that's quite a separator, and I think it's plenty enough to justify that. Number 4, Caleb Williams.
Sir.
Coming off a year, we threw for 3,942 yards, 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, QBR of 90.1. We are both big fans of this guy.
I don't have to say much. I'm going to be too early rather than too late. I see it. He's him. 100%. Caleb Williams is top 4.
Yep, he's got that same top-end elite athleticism, not quite in the same linear structure as Lamar, but definitely has the same attributes. Second year in a system, I think will do wonders for him. They'll continue to build around him. We'll see if DJ Moore, if that's a net positive or not.
Like losing him?
Yep. Because, late in the season, I just felt the vibes kind of just felt off with DJ. DJ Moore's kind of felt like that the last, 5 years, wherever he's been. So we'll see if that's a net positive where you bring the younger guys along more with Rome Odunze and those guys and see what they can really do. But, I think stock is real high on Caleb Williams. Got him at 4. Next on the list, Matt Stafford. Number 3, coming off a year, 4,700 yards passing, 46 touchdowns to 8 picks, 109.2 QBR. Again, I don't think there's a whole lot to say here.
Really breaking the mold. Like our brains, our football, just sports brains are being the longevity of athletes due to modern medicine and this and the other is so, the fact that Jason Tatum came back 10 months after Achilles pop is nuts. And so Stafford being able to prolong his career when a lot of people thought for sure he wouldn't make it, especially with health issues, back issues. I think he has a strong case to be number 2 on this list, but I'm okay with 3. He did not score in the red zone. And when you're this high, you're nitpicking.
Yep.
And it's like he did not score when he had a shot to close the deal and get back to the Super Bowl this year against Seattle. But again, that's just nitpicking. Even with that nitpick, I think he has a strong case to be 2.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think just the throws that he's making, they're like unconscious. He's putting stuff in windows that no other guy's even attempting. And I'm talking no other guys. Pat Mahomes not throwing it. Allen's not throwing it. He's the only guy throwing it. My fear with Matt is the age.
Yeah.
Because when you fall off, you fall off.
Yeah.
Right? Like this isn't – in the NFL, this isn't LeBron or Michael Jordan at the end or Kobe at the end where you go, okay,
20.
They're middle of the pack. Yeah, this is like you go from you're contending for a Super Bowl to are they going to make the playoffs? That's typically how an NFL – think Aaron Rodgers. That's typically how that happens where you go like, okay, you go from elite to like, is he serviceable enough to make the playoffs? Yeah. So that's the fear there just with Stafford.
The only other, I can make an argument – well, I think you can make an argument. The only other person who can make those throws that you're talking about is – Tua, right, for the Falcons this year.
Yeah, comeback player of the year. That's the projection. We'll move. We won't dissect that. We won't tangent this segment. Number 2, Joshua Allen, coming off a year, 3,600 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, QBR of 102.2. For me, this is still a potential pick as far as what I think his ceiling can be next year. They go and get a receiver for him. We'll see if that yields dividends or not, right? We've been kind of calling for that. So
all I really have to say about Josh in this ranking is the only thing that matters is who's above him. And the reason he's not number 1 is because of the guy above him and who has beat him consistently in the playoffs. And Josh has had the ball with a chance to go win it and not done it. And so I think Josh easily could be number 1 on the list, but there is a
to be
huge
the
block
man
in front of him.
You got to beat the man. Drum roll, please. Number 1, Pat Mahomes.
Yep. I'll
Hot
say
take.
we're not on this pod. We're not gonna overreact to stuff. Like people, I'm not overreacting. To me, Mahomes is the best in the league.
Yep.
And
yeah, coming off a year, 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, 11 picks, 89.6 rating. Obviously, coming off of now an injury. Yeah, to dethrone him, you got to beat him when he's healthy, and not many people have been able to do that. I know, with their struggles and not getting into the playoffs this year, it's a little bit of a moot point there. Can't be beat if you're not in, but you got to prove it.
For sure.
All the guys 2 through whatever, you got to show us that you're in the top spot. So that's the top 15. Quick rundown again. We've got Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Caleb Williams, and then Matt Stafford, Josh Allen, and Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 15-1. We do have a couple questions. We'll hit these quick so we don't keep you too long. The question that we posed to each other from the list, ranking 10 through 15, so that's a group of Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Jalen Hurts, and Kyler Murray. Which of those guys at the end of their career is most likely to be a Hall of Fame inductee?
Where'd you go?
Jalen Hurts.
Dude, I would. Jalen Hurts.
Yep,
Jalen Hurts. I said Jalen too, bro.
I'm taking the layup, man. I think if they can get it together with an OC, this is a guy that's already got a Super Bowl win and an MVP. That all matters.
Super Bowl MVP,
yeah. That all matters when you're talking about inclusion to an elite group like the Hall of Fame. He is the pick for me, 10 through 15.
Yeah,
he's
Jalen's the pick for me because he's the hardest one to rank. Him and his head coach are impossible to put in tier lists because of the heights that they've reached and the lows that they've been at. And so Jalen has the most potential to be at the Hall of Fame. He already has the Super Bowl. He's played well in 2 Super Bowls. And so Jalen for sure has a shot to be a Hall of Famer. Although we both said he's 14 on the list and has potential to be out of the list.
Yep.
He's just so interesting to rank.
Definitely a fringe guy with potential. But yeah, because you've got the hardware to back it up, I think it puts you a step ahead of the rest of the guys in that range. Next question, out of the 1 through 9, so looking at the rest of this list, who is the most likely to fall out of the top 15?
I think we might line up again. I went Lamar.
Ooh.
I went Lamar. To me, Lamar has a high potential to fall out of top 15 because I don't know if his game was built on his prolific athleticism. I don't know if he is going to be able to stand and deliver in the pocket consistently for years coming. And so, especially and a lot of that is his team. His best receiver is Zay Flowers. And so, not hating on Zay Flowers. Obviously, he's better than I am. But I just think Lamar has potential as his athleticism goes to fall out.
Yeah, I think it's fair. He's either going to rebound or he's going to continue to.
Is he going to be Stafford?
Yeah. We'll see. No, we actually went different ways here, and I'm just a hater. I went Sam Darnold. You got to. I got to see what you can do without a super elite defense. He's not going to have that with the pieces that they're missing. We'll see what happens. Like I said, back to the previous points of like not lighting it up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I get it. Didn't have to. So again, good for him. But yeah, I think he's got the potential to really drop out of this list. Yeah, just based on trajectory and how that defense will look this year, and losing the MVP of the Super Bowl to the Chiefs.
This next question is my favorite one.
Last question. Out of guys not on this list, currently outside of the top 15, who's the guy that you think has the opportunity this season to get onto this list and bump someone off?
Who you got?
Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart. If he can stay healthy for the season.
Why Jackson Dart?
He's got the right infrastructure in place. He's got an elite tight end coming over. He's got Scatterboo coming back.
Scatterboo.
We'll see how many TikToks they post. Yeah, I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of him. He's a gunslinger. He lets it ride. We'll see if he can stay healthy, but I think he's got the potential to jump on the list, and there's no shot I'm taking the guy that you're taking.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of Harbaugh.
Yep.
So I'm not taking Jackson. Who's not on the list, who is going to be on the list. He ended the year super, super hot, doing really well with his offensive-minded head coach, Tyler Shuck.
Oh, shucks.
The good thing is he's already 37, I think, and so he's hit the peak of his career. And he's mobile, lit it up at Louisville, was as a rocket arm. He's tall, can stand, deliver, and is mobile. And so I think with Kellen, who Jalen had his Super Bowl winning year under Kellen Moore, Kellen able to get the offense going under Tyler Shuck at the end of the year. They just added ETN. And so
A-Chan. Did you see that?
What?
We've been pronouncing that incorrectly this entire time.
A-Chain?
A-Chan is how you pronounce
Yeah,
his
yeah,
name.
no, I don't care about that. A-Chain. I don't know, bro. All I know is the man destroyed the University of Miami when he was at A&M, single-handedly beat him. And so, but they added Trevor or Travis? I get him confused, bro. Travis Etienne? Yeah, it's Travis. Travis Etienne just came to the Saints. So I think Tyler Shuck has strong potential to be in the top 15 next year. For the Nolans Saints.
That's the list.
Yes, sir.
We'll see if you guys hate it or
and
love it.
next week we're doing running back.
Yeah, moving to running back next week. Another consolidated list of top 15 guys moving into next season.
See ya.
Peace.